He was born the son of a soldier. He fought his way through civil war, seized the greatest empire on earth, and then did something no one expected. He surrendered that empire to a single god. Constantine the Great didn't just rule Rome. He changed the entire direction of Western civilization. This is his story. Around 272 AD, in the city of Nisus, in modern-day Serbia, a boy was born to a Roman military officer named Constantius and a woman named Helena. Helena was not of noble birth. Some sources call her a tavern keeper's daughter, but she would go on to become one of the most influential women in Christian history. Young Constantine grew up in the Roman army's shadow, trained in warfare, strategy, and politics. When his father Constantius rose to become one of the four co-emperors under the Tetrarchy system, Constantine was sent to the court of Emperor Diocletian, essentially as a political hostage, but also as a student of power. By the late 3rd century, the Roman Empire was too vast for one man to control. Emperor Diocletian created the Tetrarchy, splitting rule between 4 emperors, 2 senior Augusti and 2 junior Caesars. Constantine's father Constantius ruled the western provinces, Britain, Gaul, and Spain. Constantine, meanwhile, served brilliantly under Diocletian and Galerius in the east, proving himself in campaigns in Persia and on the Danube frontier. He was a skilled soldier, intelligent, charismatic, and deeply ambitious. When Diocletian abdicated in 305 AD, the fragile peace of the Tetrarchy began to crack. The empire was about to be torn apart by war. When Constantius died in York, Britain, in 306 AD, his troops immediately declared Constantine emperor, bypassing the official Tetrarchy succession entirely. It was an act of defiance that lit the fuse of civil war. At one point, 6 men simultaneously claimed to be Roman emperor. The empire descended into chaos. Constantine based himself in Gaul and Britain, consolidating power methodically. He was patient, calculating, and ruthless when needed. By 312 AD, only 2 main rivals remained in the west, Constantine and the tyrant Maxentius, who held Rome itself. A final showdown was coming, and it would be decided at a bridge. Before the final battle, Constantine reported something extraordinary. According to his biographer Eusebius, Constantine saw a vision in the midday sky, a cross of light above the sun, with the words, "In this sign, conquer." That night, he claimed Christ himself appeared to him in a dream and commanded him to mark his soldiers' shields with the Chi Rho symbol, the first 2 Greek letters of Christ's name. Whether this was a genuine religious experience, a clever political move, or something in between, no one can know for certain. But Constantine obeyed. His army marched toward Rome bearing the symbol of Christ. The ancient world would never be the same. On October 28, 312 AD, Constantine's army met Maxentius at the Milvian Bridge over the river Tiber, just north of Rome. Maxentius had made a fatal tactical error. He chose to fight outside Rome's walls, on a temporary pontoon bridge over the Tiber. Constantine's cavalry broke through the flanks. Maxentius's troops were pushed back onto the bridge. It collapsed under their weight. Maxentius himself fell into the Tiber and drowned, weighed down by his armor. Constantine entered Rome in triumph. He was now the undisputed master of the Western Roman Empire, and he gave full credit for the victory to the Christian God. In 313 AD, Constantine and his co-emperor Licinius issued one of the most consequential documents in human history, the Edict of Milan. For the first time, the Roman Empire officially granted religious tolerance to all its people, and specifically ended the brutal persecution of Christians. For 3 centuries, Christians had been tortured, thrown to lions, crucified, and burned alive for their faith. Overnight, that ended. Churches could be built. Scriptures could be read openly. Bishops could hold public office. Constantine didn't just tolerate Christianity, he actively promoted it, funding church construction across the empire and surrounding himself with Christian advisors. The faith that had once been hunted was now favored by the most powerful man on earth. Despite issuing the Edict of Milan together, Constantine and Licinius eventually fell into war. Their rivalry was also partly religious. Licinius had begun quietly persecuting Christians again in the east. In 324 AD, Constantine defeated Licinius in battle, had him executed, and became the sole ruler of the entire Roman Empire, east and west, for the first time in decades. One man, one empire, and increasingly, one religion. Constantine's Christianity was now the unofficial religion of the most powerful state on earth. His mother Helena, now a devout Christian, traveled to Jerusalem and reportedly discovered the true cross. Constantine funded the building of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre over Christ's tomb. In 325 AD, Constantine convened one of the most important meetings in religious history, the First Council of Nicaea. Over 300 bishops from across the Christian world gathered in Nicaea, in modern-day Turkey. The church was deeply divided over theology, particularly the Arian controversy. Was Jesus Christ divine, equal to God, or was he a created being? Constantine personally presided over the council, pushing for unity. The result was the Nicene Creed, the foundational statement of Christian belief still recited in churches around the world today. Constantine did not just rule the Roman Empire. He shaped the doctrine of the world's largest religion. Constantine made one final, audacious decision that would echo for over 1,000 years. He decided to move the capital of the Roman Empire. In 330 AD, he founded a brand new city on the strategically perfect site of the ancient Greek town of Byzantium, at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, where the Bosphorus meets the sea. He named it Constantinople, the city of Constantine. He built it as a Christian city from the very foundation. Churches instead of pagan temples, Christian symbols on every monument. Constantinople became the greatest city in the medieval world, and it would remain the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, for over 1,000 years, until 1453. Constantine died on May 22, 337 AD, and in a final act of symbolism, he was baptized as a Christian only on his deathbed. He was buried in Constantinople in the Church of the Holy Apostles, positioned among 12 symbolic apostle coffins, placing himself as the 13th apostle. His legacy is immeasurable. He transformed Christianity from a persecuted minority faith into the dominant religion of Western civilization. He founded a capital city that lasted over 1,000 years. He convened the council that defined Christian doctrine. Whether you see him as a true believer or a brilliant political strategist, there is no denying it. Constantine the Great changed the world more than almost any other single person in history. And the world he created is still largely the one we live in today.
Constantine, 272 to 337 AD. He gave the world its faith.
Subscribe, and we'll see you in the next chapter of history.